welcome you all here tonight for our annual Volunteer Appreciation Evening. I think before we even do anything, let's all give ourselves a round of applause for all the work. Okay, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Everybody?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So before we get started, since we're talking about volunteers tonight, I want to point to a volunteer sitting on my right. This is B. Adler. Thank you for coming in. For those of you who haven't heard, we have a program here in Highland Park called Highland Park Is a Hoot. And the purpose of this fund is to get individual donations from residents so that we can help the children of Highland Park get healthy meals throughout the year, and also help them with supplies and other programs and projects throughout the year when they have some needs. As you probably know, about 36% of our school children are on free or reduced lunch, and that means when school is not in session and their parents are not at home, they are often found without having a proper meal for lunch. And therefore, we started the Fund for Highland Park. Whenever school is not in session and it's not a national holiday, so parents are at work, we supply, with the help of Elijah's Promise, we supply lunch to these students. Any student who wants to come and participate can. They get a healthy lunch, they are treated to a movie or games, and we have a couple of our volunteers who work with the children when this happens in the room tonight. Raise your hand if you've helped. Okay.
Harry Potter.
So anyway, on your way in or on your way out, if you'd like to make a donation of any kind, we will be very happy to take your money. And we have a jar there, and anyone who does make a donation gets a glow-in-the-dark I gave a hoot bracelet. So there you go. How many volunteers do you think we have in the borough of Highland Park?
200.
More. Closer to 500 volunteers. And that's an amazing number. We couldn't do what we do in Borough Hall without all of the volunteers that work day in, day out to help make all the programs that we have happen. We recently started a new group called CERT, which is Community Emergency
Response
Team. And it's a team that works with our public safety people in case of emergency. They've been called out on several occasions, and even went to North Brunswick when they had a major fire. And I received a letter from the mayor there thanking us for their efforts. So that just goes to show all the different things that we can do. We have a really good showing tonight from our first aid squad here. Thank you all. All of them are volunteers. We also have a volunteer fire department and many other committees and commissions which you'll hear about tonight. At this moment, I would like to ask Council President Susan Welkowitz to come up and say a few remarks.
Thanks everybody for showing up tonight. Just a couple of thoughts that I had. The past few weeks, our Sustainable Highland Partner has been under Chair Terry Hobert. We've been working towards recertifying to a silver certificate, and every 3 years now we're doing it, and Terry's taking the lead on this again this year, and it's a huge task, and it cuts across the entire borough. And in order to be able to submit this very large application and get the credit for it, we asked several weeks ago for members of each committee to come together. And we held them in these rooms, one of these rooms, and we set up 2 tables. Turned out we kind of had to rearrange the furniture because we couldn't all fit comfortably. I think it was Dee who said to me, I can't believe how many people showed up. I can't believe the kinds of work that everybody does that showed up to this meeting. They were all volunteers. They're representatives from all the different committees that we have, including EMS, including fire, including some of our staff as well, but mostly the volunteers showed up. Fire department showed up for that meeting. And we were there to identify the various tasks, these actions that the different groups have worked on or are working on or can complete by the end of the year and get this kind of credit for. And seriously cut through the entire borough. Everything from a new water usage ordinance to, trying to think, to maybe some OEM initiatives. And it was Dee that pointed out that even though she's been working for us for several months now, she was surprised at the depth of what was represented. And it reminds me of something else. Many years ago, in the 1980s, I worked for a multinational bank in Manhattan. And we were the first multinational bank to merge with another multinational bank. And right after the merger, we had a huge meeting, and the head of marketing came out and he gave his rah-rah speech. And the first thing he said was, everyone in this audience is with sales. And the sales department raised their hand. And they said, well, wait a minute, what about administration? Don't you do this and that? Don't you represent the product? Don't you represent the customer? And he went through each department and described how each department was responsible for an element of the sales process and retaining clients, and that's what we were all about, is having clients. And by the end of the meeting, when he said who's on the sales force, the entire room raised their hand. And what I want to say to everybody here, and everybody who's not here that can't make it, we understand everybody's super busy, especially now coming back from spring break, but that this is the group that makes our town run. The mayor mentioned we have almost, 500 volunteers? We have about 75 staff people, but we have almost 500 volunteers. And you all represent, you know better than anybody else what our town is, because you live here, you experience it every day, you pay the taxes, and you're the best one to come forward and say, this is what we should be doing. And we all get together and we all help and make it happen. And thank you. From the bottom of from my heart and from everybody else, this is what makes our town great. And thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to ask that each of the council people that are here tonight come forward. And any committee chairperson or organization president or chairperson, could you come forward as well? So what we're going to do now, each of the committee chair people submitted names of people on their committees who were designated their honorees for this year. So what I'd like to do is ask each of the council people who have the certificates for their committees to call, to get together with the committee chair, if he's here, and call up each of your honorees to receive the certificate. So So, Elsie, would you like to start us off?
Sure, first things And the volunteer of the year this year is Carl Kemp. Has been on the squad for the past almost 4 years. And he's a Highland Park resident. He's at school at Rutgers, and he's a biology major. He's in his last year, and what a fitting place for him to serve, especially in our first aid squad with all the knowledge and skill that he's gained and saving people's lives. And I'm going to let Robin, if you or Pat, you have anything you wish to add?
Sure. This is my first public speech, so please forgive me. 64 years, I managed to evade it, but that is for a good cause, right? So I have prepared something, so I'm going to try to read it. So good evening, everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Patrick Boulanger, the new captain of the Highland Park First Aid Squad. Thank you, Mayor Mittler and Council Dublin, for the opportunity to publicly honor our volunteer of the year, Mr. Carl Kemp. In town, we have a remarkable young man who found time to give back to the Highland Park community by answering over 200 emergency calls a year while maintaining Dean's List at Rutgers University. Carl has made himself an indispensable squad member, one we have come to rely upon, and as captain, I assure you, a most important quality in a volunteer. Carl never fails us. He's always available when needed, be it for a call or for extra work at the squad. Carl has a calm personality and a can-do attitude, which relaxes everyone around him, except for me today. And his big smile lifts the mood of anyone in the room. This year, Carl has taken additional responsibility by becoming an officer, and I'm quickly discovering his aptitude at managing the affairs of the squad. It greatly facilitated my duty as captain. So please join me in congratulating Carl as our volunteer of the year and his dignitary.
Paul, if you would just stand here for a minute, we're going to take a picture with all of the winners. Okay?
And at this time, I'm going to call our CERT team. Anybody here from our CERT team? And Community Response Team, Joanna Joseph. Joanna's not here. Well, just a little bit about our Community Response Team. This team was put in place approximately a year and a half ago. They've gone through extensive training, and they serve doing a lot of our public events. And if ever we need additional assistance, they're always there to serve. So we're happy that we have a community response team that along with the throngs of volunteers that we have, and we greatly appreciate, we have them to call upon, and they have served in many, many other areas, especially when they were called out of town to serve in the fires. Many of our volunteers do that as well, but during the huge fire in North Brunswick, they were there, and as the mayor said earlier, they received a special letter of accommodation. So we really appreciate having our CERT team. And we'll pass this on to the appropriate person. This time I'm going to call our fire department. And the volunteer of the year for the fire department is Andy Short. volunteer goes, Andy has been volunteering for a while in our fire department. We're happy to have him, and I know tonight is their meeting next door, so I'm happy that you guys were able to come over, although you have a meeting going on. And I'm gonna have Chief say a few words about it.
My name is Jay Lippman, I'm your fire chief. I've been a lifetime resident of Highland Park. I've been on the fire department for 26 years. It's my second time being chief. I was chief in 2005-06, and I decided to take the punishment again and do it again. Fool that you are.
Happily did it again, happily.
Look who's talking, David. Andy Schwartz has been on the fire department for a couple of years now, and I wanted to honor him by the time that he dedicates to the fire department and to the Borough of Highland Park. And unfortunately, we do have some training going on tonight, so the rest of our members are training with the new ladder truck. So I wanted to thank Andy Schwartz for his time.
Okay. Councilman, would you be able to help
Follow
us?
that, I'll do
Yes?
what I can.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Jim Walsh. I'm a newly elected councilman, and I've been on the council for just a few months now, and in that short period of time, have gained a tremendous appreciation for all the volunteers and all that people do to run this town. It's really amazing. So thank you all very much for all that you do. The first volunteer I would like to recognize is Debbie Hare. Is she here? I don't see her. But so for folks, she's a super volunteer, and she grew up in Highland Park, and she's someone who continually gives back to the community. She's getting this award for her work on the rec advisory committee and helping to coordinate rec activity, all the sports and the fireworks and the camps and all of that. She also serves on universal access and helps out there. It's really contributed a lot to Highland Park. So we'll make sure she gets this award. So thank you very much, Debbie, for all your service. Celia Diamond, also not here. But so Celia is a longtime Highland Park resident. She's been here for 40 years. She's been a member of the Council on Aging since 2014. And she's also been the programmer for Highland Park's Alliance for Retired Americans for over 16 years. And she's also was a member of the Rockettes for 23 years. We have another Rockette in Highland Park. Not many people are aware. Two other Rockettes in Highland Park. We're a major recruiting ground for your daughter to grow up with very high leg kicks through Highland Park. But she really compares this place to a country club and talks about it like that. And for those of you who come here at all, it really does have that feel for a lot of the folks who come here and experience the great community and activities and things going on here. So thank you, Celia, for helping make the Council on Aging and the Senior Center a really great place. And Lara Arp. Yeah, no, also not here. For those of you who don't know, she actually grew up in Texas and moved here to become a Rockette. It didn't work out. That's our one failure. But she's been here for 8 years. She's actually the director of Who's My Neighbor, which is a really great nonprofit that provides a ton of services and support to people who need it in Highland Park. She also helps run a free after-school program for the middle school youth and early childhood enrichment and child support programs. She also helps coordinate the environmental themed summer camp. Really does amazing work. She's a staff person at the Reformed Church. Is really an amazing volunteer. She's also a member of the Highland Park Students of Color, and she gets this award for her work at the Highland Park Municipal Alliance, but she can a number of different places. I'm sure she should be recognized for all the great work she's doing. So thank you very much for your service. We can Photoshop people in later.
Thank you, President Welkowitz.
I'm going to say So the first certificate we have is for the member of our Environmental Commission. Here's Chair Michael Rosenberg, and he'll present this work.
So I've been the chairman of the Environmental Commission for 31 years, so I have Jay Littman beat by 5 years. In case anyone is keeping track. The Environmental Commission this year selected Jonathan Abrahams to be our volunteer of the year. Just so you know, Jonathan has been very active in organizing cleanups of the Meadows property and the native plant reserve, so he's been doing that. And Jonathan has also been involved with the Boy Scouts, and what he's been doing is he's been helping Eagle Scouts, where potential Eagle Scouts work and their Eagle Scout projects, and he's been helping them to figure out what the projects are going to be and where they're going to put them. And most of them have been environmental projects, so Jonathan well deserves this award.
And also the new Environmental Commission brochure, by the way.
I was holding that while we're...
He comes to your thing on Sunday.
Yes.
Yes, put it in the book.
Jonathan, if you don't mind reading over here.
So now we will plug Earth Day for just a minute. Sustainable Highland Park has been organizing the Earth Day Festival now for years, and Terry Hilbert is chair of the Sustainable Highland Park Committee, and this is the certificate for great.
Well, this year we're recognizing Hagit Mano, who is, I believe, back there somewhere, coming up. So so she gets things done, which is what you need in a volunteer, and she has big ideas, and she doesn't say, she always says, why can't we do that? As opposed to my, like, oh, that's going to be hard. So we couldn't do it without you. And Earth Day, as my job to plug, is this Sunday down at the Environmental Center on River Road, so we hope to see you all there. We will be there, and, you know, but this is about Hagit, so congratulations.
Wait, follow up. I have two other certificates here. One for the Highland Park Safe Walking and Cycling Committee. Is Kara Donaldson here? No. Well, congratulations, Kara, for working with us on improving our walking and cycling initiatives in town, which we've done really well over the past few years in getting grants and receiving awards for that. We hope to continue that and hope that you continue helping the group out. So thank you for all your help. And also is Rosie here. From our Shade Tree Committee, we'd like to present a certificate of appreciation to Roseanne Baruch. Roseanne is another super volunteer. Not only has she served on the Shade Tree Committee for several years and helped draft a lot of our initiatives, she's also the chair of our redevelopment agency. So thank you, Rosie, for all your assistance.
So Councilman Fine could not be here tonight, so I have, I need an assistant. Can I have an assistant? Can you help me? I need some help. Would you like to help me? I'm not a volunteer. I got that effect on children. So Councilman Fine could not be here tonight, and I want to recognize all of the volunteers from his committees for their service for many years. First of all, on the Commission for Universal Access, Ms. Tara Canavera. Tara has been serving the Commission on Universal Access, at least since 2009, where I was liaison to that committee. She's been responsible for many of the programs that we've put together here. to benefit our residents with disabilities, and I'm very proud to say that she was selected as Universal Access's Honoree of the Year. And now, the Community Food Pantry. Would you like to come up and say a few words about the wonderful work that you do?
Thank you. My name is Janice Ballou, and I'm the chair of the Highland Park Food Pantry. I keep asking people how long can I say that I'm new. I started in July, so I think I'm sort of burning out the newness. But I am fortunate enough to have to work with a group of people that have done wonderful things even while I've been on a major learning curve. In addition to me being new, the entire food pantry was reorganized in the last year. The way that it was divided up into different tasks for different people. We have about a dozen or so heads that lead up different efforts, and each of those people were literally in new roles pretty much the same time I was coming on board. So it was just, we always talk about the miracle of the food pantry, but one of the miracles of the food pantry is the fact that we were all able to figure out how to work together, especially with me brand new, and it works. And one of the things that is, in addition to all the moving parts somehow getting together, it's really amazing that I think the bottom line for us is we get food and we get it to the people. And all the other kinds of things that go around that operationally that can be challenging we work real hard at it. We keep hoping that it's going to be perfect someday, but we keep working at it. But the bottom line is we service easily 150 more people on every other week when we have folks come in, and they are able to go home with bags of food, and we're able to do that. And our honoree tonight is one of the core people in making that happen. Carly Andrews, and we inherited her from Minnesota, yay. She's now a Jersey girl.
Is she a rockhead?
Really came to New York to do and then it turned out that she wasn't working at records.
Yes.
But Carly, in addition to doing many, many tasks, her core job is getting the food and making sure we have the food and making sure that if we are short on something, she fills in the gaps. And it's without her, we wouldn't, all that inventory and all that we have to do to get food to people. It's again the miracle of the food pantry. This is part of that miracle. So Carly, we want to thank you very much, and we really would like to go.
News for you. Councilman Fine told me that you were interested in a garden that would accommodate some vegetables. So we actually took a look around my office, and right outside my office and outside the office of the communications team on the other side of the door, there are 2 patches of land which we're going to have DPW take a look at and see if it can be used or reused so that you can grow whatever fruit or vegetables you think would be needed by the food pantry right there.
Okay. So it's nice to have options.
Okay, is there anyone from the Board of Health here? Well, then let me tell you that the Board of Health has awarded this year's honoree to Olivia Barnes. Is Olivia here tonight? Okay, well, we'll make sure she gets the certificate. The Board of Health also has some student volunteers, and Miss Julia Brennan is also being honored as a student volunteer for the Board of Health. So, she's close to Highland. Is anyone from the Housing Authority here? Well, tonight, the Housing... Would you like to say something about Morgan Chen?
Sure, yeah. Sure.
Come on up.
Yes,
Morgan Chen is being honored by the Housing Authority.
So Morgan, I've known for a few years. He is heavily involved in housing professionally and has a keen awareness of the housing needs, particularly for lower income Highland Parkers. And our affordable housing stock, as anybody might know, is critical to the inclusivity of this town and having access to safeties and affordable housing. And Morgan is a big proponent of that, and he definitely deserves this.
Okay, is anyone here from the Human Relations Commission tonight? Well, the Human Relations Commission is honoring Ms. Mary Denver for all her work on human relations. In case some of you don't know, Mary Denver is also very, very much involved in our native plant reserve. So Mary gets a lot of kudos from all of us tonight. And our library. Anybody from the library here tonight? Okay, the library this evening is honoring Bruce Tucker as their Volunteer of the Year. So congratulations to Bruce Tucker. Okay. And also under Councilman Fine's committees, he has a lot of committees. We do that to fairly new council people. The Mayor's Wellness Campaign is also part of Councilman Fine's portfolio. And this year, the Mayor's Wellness Campaign has decided to honor its very own chair, Dr. Cliff Lacey, for his many, many years of service. Oh, you're here, Justin. You're on the Mayor's Wellness Campaign. Would you like to say a few words about the work going on there?
If I knew what was coming after you, I'd bring my cane. The Wellness Committee has been working now for about 3.5, 4 years. And what we've been trying to do, which was successful as of last week, is to identify the fact that this municipality cares about its people. It cares about all of its residents. And as a consequence, we look to see what could we do to ensure the health of the residents of the borough. And one of the things that Dr. Lacey recommended was that we would become a heart-healthy community in the state of New Jersey. As a matter of fact, we believed we would be the first municipality in the state of New Jersey to receive that national designation. I'm pleased to say that as of last week, the Borough Council approved Highland Park being a heart-healthy community, and we are the first municipality in the state of New Jersey to receive that designation. And some of us can't walk a lot, to try to find other things that we can do to help in other ways within the borough. So I'm sure that Cliff will really appreciate this. Cliff is a great, well, how do I know him? I rented him his first unit when he was renting before he bought. He then became my cardiologist. And when I had my heart attack, and I was at Prophet Wood, they said to me, "You're very, very frightened." I said, "Yes, I am." And with that, he was walking around with some of the residents doing the rounds. He walked past my little cubby with the curtains, and he stopped, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, "What the hell are you doing here?" I said, "I think I'm waiting for you." And he took care of me ever since.
Okay, next Councilman George could not be here tonight, but the redevelopment agency falls under his committees, and I'm proud to say that the redevelopment agency is honoring Ms. Frances McDonald tonight for her many years of service to that commission. As you probably know, they are working very, very diligently to achieve our goal of smart development, which is downtown development. So congratulations to Francis McDonald. Okay, so as mayor, my responsibilities fall under administration. And I'm happy to announce two of our committee members who are being honored. First of all, the Public Information Commission. Matt, you are co-chair of that committee. Would you come up and talk about the honoree for this evening, Ms. Saskia Marina?
Absolutely. So it's an honor to award this Volunteer of the Year for Public Information Committee to Saskia Marina. Let me just preface, she's a professional photographer, so it is killing her that I'm up here taking pictures. Because I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing it right at all. But I guess in 2011, so our committee was formed in 2009, 10, thereabout, when then Councilwoman Bromiller really ushered in this policy of communications and a volunteer advisory committee that was designed to oversee in-house staff, but also to help execute all of the borough's public information mechanisms. That's the newsletter that shows up at your home 3 times a year, social media, the Nixle notifications, cable TV, Facebook, social media, Twitter, Instagram. So anything that arrives in your sphere is part of that operation. And I think one thing that I would like to note just generally is that the volunteers who are here are amazing, but it's also I want to just give credit to council for kind of implementing the policy to help facilitate all these wonderful volunteers too. Because that's a real that's to have so many volunteers be in town and have the ability to actually help is the result of good government. So we should never know that. So Saskia, so in 2011, Mayor Bromiller really was encouraging me to get Saskia on the committee, and I didn't know Saskia, and I was like, yeah, sure, okay. And we had a conversation over the phone. I remember I was at work, and I stepped out into the hallway, and she talked my ear off for like an hour, just about all.
No, me, Saskia.
And then I had no idea what I had been dealing with at this point, and she was a whirlwind of ideas. She was really energized. She was motivated. She was ready to just do whatever she was tasked to do. I mean, a true public servant. She just wanted to help, and that's how you have always been, and that's how you are ever since. And as a true public servant, you also you reap the benefits of public service, but also where we all get a little over sometimes. But so she definitely deserves this, and Saskia, thank you so much. And I'm going to just
I wanted to make sure they knew it was me.
How are we going to get that in this picture?
No, I'm good.
And last but certainly not least, there's a gentleman in the room who is always in the back of a room and behind a camera. Gary, would you come up for a second? Get in front of that camera, Gary. Is it looking at you, or should we move up again? Oh, there goes Matt. He'll make sure. So, Gary Leslie, he wants us to move this way.
You're going to be taller.
Sorry, I'm sure. You look too. So Gary Leslie has been the man behind the camera for how many years now? 20 years. HPTV came into existence because of this man. We have so much to thank Gary for. Public access to committee meetings, council meetings, Board of Education meetings. Tonight could not happen without Gary's dedication. So Gary, I want to personally thank you for everything you've done all these years. You take this as a very serious part of your life, I know. I know this specifically because of when we were having our budget negotiations. So I want to thank Gary from all of the council and look forward to working with you behind the camera for many more years to come. Yes, yes. All right. Is Michael Rosenberg there? You are. So you just heard about some of our amazing volunteers, and these people were selected by the members of their committees and their chairpeople. But now we're about to talk about the man who really stood out this year amongst all our volunteers. And I've asked Michael Rosenberg, who's probably worked with him the longest, to say a few words. Would you come up, Alan, meanwhile? This is Alan Williams.
We were just talking before the meeting to try and figure out how long Alan has been on that commission. We think it's somewhere between 9 and 10 years. Alan had worked for Johnson & Johnson for many years, and when he retired, he was looking for something to do. So to keep busy, he volunteered. He obviously didn't know what he was in for. But some people, when they volunteer and join a commission or a committee, they start out very slowly and they're very timid and they get into things at their own pace. Well, Alan really took the bull by the horns and just basically started doing everything. And when the commission needed a new liaison to the planning board, he volunteered to do that. So he's been our liaison to the planning board for several years. And at each of our meetings, he reports what the planning board is doing. He's very active with the planning board. And he presents the environmental side of all the development projects that go on. So he's been active with that. He's been active with putting together the environmental resource inventory that Highland Park did a few years ago. And he's been involved with construction of the trail at the Meadows. He's basically involved with everything, which is why he's getting this award.
Thank you.
No good deed goes unpunished. Actually, with the planning board, the position had gone unfilled for several years, and when Mayor Nolan came into office, I complained quite bitterly that this is an important position, fill it. So what did he do? He appointed me. I've been volunteering now for 9 years. I find it very rewarding. One of the things I have learned, a lesson learned, you have to understand how the borough works, or you'll get nothing done.
It's a hard lesson to learn.
Kathy's been very good at teaching me. But it's very rewarding. You get the opportunity to influence how the borough is moving in what direction. And how it all started. I was somewhat bored after retiring, and then I was consulting, and then that ended. Okay, what am I going to do next? And my wife Joanne there with the redhead, why don't you go to the environmental commission meetings? You're interested in the environment, and I did. And now she says, what have I started? When are you going to be home this week? Anyhow, I thank Joanne for having started this. An opportunity to help serve the community, which probably best in 10 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So can we take a picture with Alan and all of the awardees?
Where do you want?
Tell him what to do. Away from the wall, she said.
I just have the device.
Thank you.
Carrie is out, Carrie and Susan wants to Carrie, wish her birthday. My birthday is Sunday, 11 to 3, food, music, exhibits, fun for kids, and the Environmental Commission has stewardship over the meadows, and we're always looking for volunteers every weekend at the meadows, which is down by DPW. Thank you.
That were lovingly prepared by our staff. So